Hey guys, Melanie again. Is it selfish to make art? I have worked with a lot of artists, a lot of producing artists, a lot of stuck artists. You can be stuck and producing, I realize, but let's just talk about two general categories. The producing artists are like Grammy award-winning screenwriters, playwriters, authors, all kinds of musicians, dancers, ceramic artists, choreographers, producers and writers of entire shows, filmmakers. You get the idea, lots of artists. And the stuck artists, by their own definition, they're stuck. And by their own definition, they're working not just a little bit underneath potential, they're working far beneath potential. There's a common question that comes up with the stuck artists. It doesn't come up with the producing artists. And that question is it selfish to make art? It goes like this. After all, there's a lot of suffering in the world. There's a lot of ways to spend time caring for people. Time is short. Is it selfish to carve out the time? Is it selfish to protect the time so that it is there, or that I do it first instead of taking care of something else? Because we all know there will always be something else. I want to ask, is it selfish to be how you're made? I think most of us would answer that. No, it is not selfish to be how you're made and who you are, because that's actually what we're all trying to do. This message ties in a lot with the previous message about imagination. You might want to check that out. I see some major reasons for making art. First of all, self-expression is a way of processing hardship, and therefore it can be healing, not just for the maker, but also for those who engage with the art. Art speaks in ways that really reach the heart. Secondly, great art that resonates with the zeitgeist, can shift an entire culture. Historically, we can see that a great anthem possesses the power to unify, inspire, and serve as a rallying cry for a movement or an idea. During the Civil Rights Movement, "We Shall Overcome" became a powerful symbol of hope and resilience, echoing through protests and marches as a reminder of the shared struggle for equality and justice. Its simple and uplifting melody provided strength and solidarity to those fighting against racial injustice. Similarly, during the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther, not Dr. Martin Luther King, but the original Martin Luther, he took "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God," which was actually a German beer drinking song, and turned it into a robust declaration of faith and divine protection. With the new lyric, it galvanized Luther's followers and helped to spread the Reformation all over Europe. Anthem songs like these encapsulate the spirit of their respective movements, creating a shared identity and purpose that fuels progress and fosters unity. There are notable examples where a painting or a book catalyzed significant cultural shifts, much like the anthem song. Harriet Beecher Stowe's 1852 novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, played a crucial role in changing the American public's perception of slavery. It was a vivid portrayal of the brutal realities of slave life, and it helped to galvanize the abolitionist movement in the United States, and even hopped the pond over to Europe as well. Abraham Lincoln is famously quoted as saying to Stowe, "So you are the little woman, you are the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." We also have the Sistine Chapel, renowned for breathtaking frescoes. Michelangelo and other Renaissance artists had a profound effect on faith and spirituality. Another one that isn't such a positive example, but it's iconic, is Edvard Munch's The Scream, which reflected the suffering and the pain and the existential dread that was going on in the 1890s. It kind of precipitated World War I. There's no denying that art changes hearts. In fact, art does a better job of reaching the heart than a good argument does. And by argument, I mean that in the Greek sense, like a good, solid, logical argument is not necessarily going to reach the heart. It might reach the mind, and that's its purpose, but it's not going to reach the heart. Today we live in a culture where people can hardly talk to each other. Unless they're already agreed on politics, they're not even willing to have a conversation. It's a shame, but one of the things that can still be done is make art. And our calling as kingdom artists is to make great art that communicates the truth in a way that goes straight to the heart. When you reach the heart, you change the mind. Today I'm going to share a piece that I had the privilege of working on. I was the composer of the songs, but also the underscore for Anna Rountree's The Heavens Opened. This is a scene where children who have been conceived but were never born are coming before the throne of God.
An angel began to play a simple melody on a recorder as hundreds of children came before the throne. Angels and the redeemed carried the very young in their arms. They led other children by their hands. The children took small bouquets of flowers to Jesus and to the Father. Jesus kissed each child, and both he and the Father talked with them. Huge hands of light came out from the throne area as the Father received the flowers. He touched every child and blessed each one. "Thank you," the Father said to each child, calling each one of them by name. Epigelius continued to me privately, "These are the ones who died young." Instantly, I knew that some of the children had died through miscarriage and some had been aborted. How I knew this, I do not know. Epigelius continued, "They are raised to maturity here. Both angels and their own brethren, the redeemed, are their tutors." I looked from the children to search Epigelius's face. He saw my perplexity. "Anna, many of the mysteries of our God are unfolding now. For some, the book of understanding is opened." He looked back at the children. "Our God can speak to the spirit of a child from conception. Its spirit can respond from the beginning of life in the womb." I too looked back at the children. I suddenly realized that John the Baptist had responded to the Spirit of the Lord from the womb. If the Holy Spirit can search the mind of God Himself, as the Word says, of course the Spirit can communicate with a child's spirit even before birth. The children who had been aborted presented small branches of henna as a way of showing the Father that they had forgiven those responsible for their deaths, and also asking Him to forgive them as well. As I watched, the magnitude of the fairness of our God overwhelmed me. He had given each child the opportunity to come to Christ, and all who had chosen Him were here. Epigelius spoke. "None are lost from the hand of Jesus, Anna, none.